Nothing. Why you got gloves on?
It's a murder gang.
Why you got gloves on? That's creepy.
Murder gang.
Ew. Tribe, it is your girl Naja, and I am back with another video. I don't know what this is, but I did it. This video is going to be a tribe tea. I'm going to be sharing you guys' stories today, and you guys know the drill. I do not read these stories before I get in front of this camera, so what you see is what you get. These are pure reactions. I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but yeah, my intention is not to judge. So if you are not already subscribed, you should go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Give me a huge thumbs up. It helps me get noticed in this crazy ass world of YouTube. And without further ado, let's get into it. So this video is titled Tribe Tea. I accidentally dated my middle-aged cousin. Phew. God bless me and God bless you, bitch. God damn. There's some screenshots. Ooh. Naja, I've been watching your videos for a while now, and when I saw that you were doing the Tribe Tea segment, I got excited because I have a pretty good or not so good story to tell, and I especially wanted to tell it after your I dated a child predator story time. I was young and stupid at the time, and I hope that you don't judge me too much for it. I'm telling y'all, I don't judge. I cannot control my natural reactions when they pop out, but I am not judging you whatsoever. I don't think I'm better than you. Like, it's just my natural reaction. I'm sorry that this is all over the place. I'm not good at putting events into words and writing in general. I would also like to put a trigger warning here, as there are mentions of age gap relationships, suicide attempts, abuse, and some other potentially triggering material. Note, all names I'm using are fake for obvious reasons. So you guys heard the trigger warning. If that triggers you, please exit this video. You're not hurting my feelings or anybody's feelings. Like, I'm trying to make sure that y'all are straight before anything. So some back information. I'm a female and I live with my grandparents. The family that will also be part of this story consists of an older lady named Debbie, her husband David, Debbie's son Paul, and Debbie's 2 grandchildren. Growing up, I was always around this family. My grandparents and I would go visit them often, and it became a defining part of my childhood. Arrive home from school, immediately leave with my grandparents to go to Debbie's house. Debbie is around my grandma's age, so they were very close and they enjoyed spending time together. Eventually, we just stopped going around for a reason that I'm still unsure of, although there may have not been a reason. It could have just been a case of drifting apart or being too busy, as we had been moving a lot at this time of my life. Last time I remember seeing them prior to the situation was probably in 2009 or so. In January 2014, I had just turned 16 a few months prior, and I was doing online school due to the fact that at the time I had severe anxiety. I spent a lot of time at home, so when people would visit, I would almost certainly be there. One day, I want to say around the second week of January, this family started visiting us again. The first time was awkward for me, seeing as I hadn't seen these people in 5 or more years, and I felt like I had to get to know them all over again. Side note, at this point I was grossly obsessed with Nirvana. Kurt Cobain was my main man, and if mediocre looking white man with bleached blonde hair came near me, I was ready to climb him like a tree. Ew. Anyways, it was Debbie, David, Paul, Logan, and Jenny. Logan and Jenny are their grandchildren. And they had drove 45 minutes to come visit us. I immediately took notice to the fact that Paul had bleached blonde hair and even resembled Kurt Cobain a bit in the face, although he was a lot taller. He was around 6'5" and was only 5'1", 5'2" at the time when she first met him, so you could imagine the height difference was a little ridiculous. Nothing eventful happened that day, but after seeing Paul, I was infatuated with him. I found him on Facebook and I sent him a friend request, which he accepted, and that was that. A few days later, they came back again, this time to help with some repairs around the house, and I was excited to see Paul again. During breaks from repairs, he would... What? I'm sorry. We would all sit at my dining room table and just talk. And during that time, Paul brought up that I had added him on Facebook, to which I nodded because, well, I did. That day, he started to get more playful with me, and honestly, I enjoyed the attention. Also, holy shit, I forgot to mention Paul's age. At this time, he was 38, about to turn 39 in a few months. I was only 16. Paul, you fucking nasty, because, like, Okay, if you're a younger person, like infatuated over an older person, okay, you're young, you're naive. But as a grown-ass man, you know better. You should have nipped that shit in the ass and should have been like, okay, no, little girl, like, I'm grown as fuck. I could be your daddy. Like, calm down. But instead, After they all left that day, everything was normal. Paul started commenting on my posts and photos on Facebook, and we even started messaging. The messages were innocent enough, mostly talking about how our days were going, what we were doing, the music we liked, and other things that slipped my mind. Over time, the messages got increasingly more flirty to the point where I realized I was starting to feel something for him. Here's an example of some of the flirtatious things he would say. The photo is covered for obvious reasons. Okay, so here are some screenshots. We're gonna look at these together. Ew, he's talking about whose butt we talking about. You stupid talking about my butt is flat. That was me all day. Like, bruh, I don't got no booty. I don't got no titties. My face is ugly. Like, don't talk to me. Like, bruh, he just sounds so fucking creepy talking about them big pretty eyes. What the fuck? It's like everything you're saying, he's like sexualizing it. This guy sounds like a creeper. Like, ugh. Like, this dude sounds creepy as fuck. Talking about, I'm watching this movie about a woman walking into the water. Ew. This nigga is weird. Where's my babe? This nigga is weird as fuck. Messages were nowhere near innocent, but as I said, I liked the attention and somehow I saw nothing wrong with any of this. Yeah, I don't see how. That shit would have made me so uncomfortable. Oh my god. Like, not all attention is good attention, bro. Like that, because I'm just imagining some like 40-year-old man trying to dress as a teenager. Ugh. Things continued on like that for a few more weeks until the night of Valentine's Day. We ended up in an argument of sorts. Not necessarily an argument, but a fairly serious conversation regarding feelings. That's the night we decided to be in a relationship. I'll insert screenshots of that as well. I remember the messages before this screenshot for the most part. There was something along the lines of him saying he didn't think we should talk anymore, that I should find someone else to talk to, etc. I even remember him saying something regarding our age difference. Yeah, because he's grown and he knows what he's doing is dead ass wrong and not right. Like, that's why I'm saying you're the victim in the situation, basically. Like, you're not the person who should be at fault for this. He's grown as fuck. He knows what he's doing is wrong. He's verbalizing what he's doing is wrong. Like, okay, let's see these text messages. It's like, so basically we are a couple on Facebook but friends to our family. He said, you gotta have some say in this. So yeah, all these text messages are weird as fuck. It was a normal relationship. We talked every day on Facebook, and on the days him and the family would come to visit, we'd hang out and talk and watch movies. The only thing is we'd have to be extra careful seeing as neither of our families knew about us. Within a week or so, he became demanding and just unpleasant overall. He knew I had insecurity issues, so he demanded selfies from me every day as a way to boost my confidence. That is some manipulative shit. Like, he's not trying to boost your confidence, he's trying to be a fucking pedo. Like, what the fuck? Here are the screenshots from one of the days where I wasn't feeling very good about myself. Another time he told me he was in love with me, which I don't have screenshots of, but I do have a screenshot of the message I sent my friend regarding it, and I quoted what he said exactly in my message. So I'll insert that here. That's fucking weird. This is so weird. At one point, he and I were playing on my brother's Xbox together with my best friend and her brother. She said she was leaving, which we assumed her and her brother were leaving completely and they would no longer be in our party on Xbox, meaning they could no longer hear us. He and I were alone, and I guess we started flirting, and her little brother heard us and ran to her and was like, "That's an old man." So that was embarrassing. Another time he tried to get me to stay the night with him, and he wanted me to lie to my grandparents and tell them I was staying with him to have a sleepover with his niece Jenny. He also said that would be our time to finally smash. I'd be able to sneak to his room from Jenny's room during the night, and that's when it would happen. This is so creepy. Like, Look, that is so fucking creepy. Like, this dude is creepy as fuck. Like, he had a countdown on his phone that was counting down to my 18th birthday, and he promised that when I was 18 we'd live together and he'd get me a puppy. Bruh, like, this dude sounds like fucking Creeper Steve. Like, he sounds like a fucking creeper. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, some of our times together, he would smack me sometimes so hard that I was left with a headache for the remainder of the day, and I was just increasingly more uncomfortable around him. The last day I saw him in person before I broke up with him, he sent me this text as he was leaving. I covered his text signature as it contains his name and his son's names. The next day, I decided it was time to end things with him. I was getting really worried about the age difference, our families finding out, etc. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I know I messaged him and said I want to break up, and that's just when all hell broke loose. He was threatening to kill himself despite the fact that Logan and Jenny were at his house staying the night. He said he couldn't live without me and that he never loved anyone like he loved me. Just a lot of manipulative things that no one should have to hear when they're trying to leave a relationship. At least you know that's manipulative as fuck. Like, this dude has fucking issues. Of course I panicked. I still care about him. I just don't want to be with him anymore. I also realized that if he did kill himself, I would be fucked. My family would find out about our relationship and I would be completely and utterly fucked, in a state of complete panic and fear. No, you would not have been fucked, because at the end of the day, that is a fucking adult and he's deciding to do those things, and I doubt he would have even really committed suicide at all. I just think that was a fucking manipulation tactic. I ran out of my room crying, and I told my grandma that she needed to call Debbie, that Paul was suicidal and I didn't know why, but she needed to go check on him to make sure he was okay. Of course she called Debbie, and Debbie said he was fine and there was no way anything could happen because Jenny and Logan were at his house. Immediately after that, I told my grandma that I had overdosed, and 911 was, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is going on here? Like, I'm not judging. I'm just like, what the fuck? After sitting at the hospital for hours, drinking activated charcoal to deal with the overdose, crying, just being a mess, my mom and stepdad came in the hospital room, and my mom revealed to me that my best friend had snitched. Your best friend didn't snitch, okay? That's not snitching. That's doing the right fucking thing. Like, you are 16 dating a fucking 40-year-old fucking man, and he got you over here trying to kill yourself, and he, like, no, that's not snitching. That's your friend, like, actually caring about you, because in the moment, sure, you're gonna be like, oh, fuck you, you snitch, but when you get older and you look back, you're gonna be like, damn, that friend actually had my back and saved me from a whole bunch of bullshit. She told her grandma everything, who then told my grandma, who then told my mom. During that time, my grandparents confronted Paul, and he swore up and down that it wasn't what it looked like, that I was a tramp, and that I had come on to him. Which, had that been true, it's still unacceptable, seeing as he's 38 years old. Exactly, you're right, that's right. Later on, when my mom was considering pressing charges against him, he decided to use my lack of a father as an excuse and say that he was just trying to be a father figure to me. Like, explain you trying to have sex with me then. After that, my father, who I don't really have a relationship with, tried to fight Paul, Logan, and Jenny. He tried to fight Paul. Logan and Jenny said their uncle would never do such a thing and that I was a liar. I found out Paul was actually my cousin somehow. His mom is my grandma's cousin, and I was never allowed to see him again. My cousin, who is about 6 years older than me, revealed to... Wait, so... y'all are like distant cousins, but y'all are still like blood. But either way, it's still fucking weird because he's old as fuck, talking to your young ass, and then trying to deny it because he knew what he was doing was wrong. And then you find out he's your cousin. Just be glad that his little creeper ass didn't get to you. Cousin, who's about 6 years older than me, revealed to me later on that when she would visit while Paul was around, she could tell there was something between us, and at one point it made her so uncomfortable that she couldn't stay at my house any longer, and she just left. Plot twist, despite never being allowed to see him again, Debbie, David, and Paul have started coming around again recently, and needless to say, it's awkward. Paul and I just sort of act like nothing happened, but the first time I saw him since the incident, I panicked so bad that I ended up locking myself in the bathroom. Now I'm 20 years old and I've moved on for the most part. I don't think this situation has traumatized me by any means, but it has left me a little anxious. I'm not scared of Paul. I have no reason to be anymore, but being around him still makes me uncomfortable, but it's something that I have to get used to. Goddamn, like, that is fucking crazy. I'm so glad that he didn't get to take advantage of you to the full extent and like actually be physically intimate with you, because then that would just be a whole nother level of fucked up. For one, because of the age gap, and then for it's not really the age gap. like, it's how, okay, this is how I feel about age gaps. Age gaps are okay as long as the youngest person on the age gap is of legal consenting age. Like, if you are 25 and you want to date a 51-year-old because y'all just vibe, that's cool. But if your brain hasn't even finished developing yet, you really don't need to be with no grown-ass man, and no grown-ass man should want to be with you. So I just feel like you're really blessed in the fact that some of your family did believe you, your mom believed you, and that's what's important. And why they would have him around, I really don't know. Maybe it's because he didn't touch you, but still, at the end of the day, he wanted to, so I don't know why they would bring him around. I would have pressed charges on him anyway if I was your mom. Not like bashing your mom or nothing, but if I knew this grown-ass man was like sexually texting my 16-year-old, like, I would press charges. I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, I'm pressing charges on you because fuck it, like, no. Now, that's crazy. If you guys have any 2 cents about that story, put it in the comments below. Be nice as always, and yeah, make sure you submit your tribe teas to the email in the description box, and I'll read it on this channel. See you guys later. Bye.
The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off.